What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. He's Andrew Destin. I'm Noah Hiles. Pirates beat the Rays 3-2 on Friday afternoon at LECOM Park. We have your three takeaways. Andrew, as always, I'll let you start it off. Who are we talking about first?
What a kind gentleman. I think we got to talk about Jared Triolo. That's a good spot for us to start. Just because.
Who's on first?
Yeah, precisely.
Who's up first?
If we're going to talk about first base, we have to exhaust all the options here. We've talked about the DJ Stewarts, the Derek Halls, etc.
Matt Gorski.
Yeah, come on. We've covered our bases. Now it's time to talk about a guy who has actually played first base for the Pirates in Major League Baseball games. And that's Jared Triolo, who got the start there at first base today, made some slick defensive plays. We know that he can play the position. The questions are always about the glove, but just another good data point to see how he looked over there.
Yeah, I mean, he made a lot of nice plays today. I thought the first inning came to an end with him making that diving effort, tagging out Richie Palacios on the bunt with 2 outs, a bunt that Mitch Keller talked about, how it kind of went in no man's land. And most everyday first basemen probably don't make that play, especially in spring training. But that's Jared Triolo. He's going to make the plays that normal infielders do not make, and the effort's always going to be there. And, Andrew, I mean, the bat's always going to be a question, or at least it has been up to this point in his career, but that's why you have a guy like this on your 26-man roster, because defense still matters in today's game.
Yeah, at least in the interim when you're putting a 26-man roster together, sure, Jared Triolo is not going to be a guy, at least I don't think so, ever at the big league level, who's going to hit 30 home runs and drive in 100 runs. So what can he do for a month? For a month and change, he can play a really good first base and potentially be a stopgap.
And when we talk about this first base battle, where all the pieces that go into who gets the nod and who gets that opening day roster spot that Spencer Horwitz would have had, it's interesting because Triolo kind of gives them more leeway to get just the best offensive producer at that spot, because they know, hey, if DJ Stewart or Matt Gorski or whoever else is swinging a hot bat, we don't necessarily have to care about their glove too much, because in the final 3 innings, we'll put a Gold Glover there.
Right.
And it's also a nice backup option where you could pick your own platoon of a Billy Cook and a Derek Hall, a righty-lefty thing, and know that, if one of these guys doesn't work out, our backup option is just picking an everyday player, taking him out of his utility role and just making him a first baseman until our regular first baseman's back.
Exactly, and there are worse problems to have than that. So at least in the early goings here in spring training, we're getting a glimpse of what the Pirates are thinking about, what they're pondering at first base. So that's certainly something to keep tabs on. But another point that I want us to bring up here is talk about the pitching side.
Yes.
There's a couple of key relievers who looked a little bit better today than maybe they have earlier on in camp.
Yeah, David Bednar, Colin Holderman, both throwing a scoreless frame. Last time we saw them, both of them tagged for a run. Pirates lost that game 2-1. But today, David Bednar didn't start off great. First pitch single he allows, gets a strikeout, follows by a walk. Runners get into scoring position, but with his back against the wall, he battled his way out of it, got a long fly ball, got a strikeout to end the frame. Andrew, just your thoughts on the Renegade in his second outing.
Yeah, the velocity's not quite there. He's sitting mid-90s, which is fine, right? It's spring training. For some guys, it's going to be there. I wouldn't be surprised, tip our hand, that if Paul Skeens tomorrow, I would be shocked if he were throwing 103 miles an hour. I don't think that we should expect that out of
103, I would be shocked.
Yeah,
if you said 100, I would not be shocked.
Right,
but anyway,
more so, this guy's going to pace himself. He's kind of talked about it as much. I bring that up to Bednar because I'm only slightly concerned about the velocity because he's capable of being close to a triple digits guy.
Yes.
He's not there right now. Relievers, usually at this point in camp, they are kind of emptying the tank. And the consistency with the location isn't there.
Yes.
So it's one thing if you're hitting 94, 95, but you're hitting your spots, but the fastball, he's leaving it up. The curveball, he's not quite snapping it as much.
Yeah.
The stuff just doesn't look like it's there where it needs to be.
No, not right now. I think the curveball's probably a little bit better, in a better place than the fastball.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, he's still getting guys to chase on it, even though it's not hitting its spot. The fastball right now, and again, it's still February.
Right.
But the fastball right now, it's just not hitting its location very much at all. Even when he's getting a whiff, if he's getting a whiff high in the zone, the desired location on that pitch would have been like low and outside.
Right.
and that's got to be fixed. Colin Holderman, I thought actually was a lot better. As we talked about Bednar, how he got a 0, but the stuff didn't look amazing. That Holderman looked pretty good for the most part. He allowed a hit, but overall pitched well with runners on base, got a strikeout. Velo, again, similar to Bednar, down a little bit, but I don't know. I think he took a bigger step forward today.
Yeah, and Holderman with him, for me, it's more about the health.
Yep,
that's the thing that's more of interest is, hey, how does the right wrist look? How does the stuff look? Is he going to be able to get through a full 162? Those are the lingering questions with Holderman. I think when he's healthy, he's as good as any reliever in this bullpen and one of the better setup men in baseball. So it's just a matter of whether or not he can stay healthy. If we're talking about health conversations with pitchers,
yes,
probably worthwhile to talk about Braxton Ashcraft.
The transition king. That's why they call him it. What do you got for me on Braxton?
Well, I mean, it was a mixed bag today, right?
Yes.
Threw an inning in 2/3, gave up a couple of runs. I believe those were the only runs that the Rays scored in the game, came off of Braxton Ashcraft. But, yeah, I mean, with him, it's just seeing him get out there.
Yep.
It's seeing him get lengthened out. It's being healthy at this point in camp, which isn't always the case. I know in a conversation with you, he talked about how he feels like he's figured out some solutions with those problems with his forearm before in the past. So what I care about is Braxton Ashcraft is pitching. That's pretty much it.
That was my big takeaway. It's a win because he was on the mound facing another team. The last time he did that was August 30th. So that's big for him. The velocity I thought was good, Andrew. I believe fastball average velo 97.1. You'll take that. You'll take that from a guy who's had injury issues and a guy who is just pitching for the first time. I wouldn't necessarily expect Braxton to be in this group of arms that we consider have a legit shot to make the opening day roster.
I agree.
Even if he continues to perform well, I just think that based by the fact that we're a week into games, he's only thrown one inning. He's probably just a little bit further behind as far as getting his body ready. But, I mean, and Shelton mentioned this, sure, the hits came, he allowed runs, but they weren't necessarily the most convincing base hits. If you go on the grid of where it shows in the strike zones on the game log, the 2 RBI single, I forget who hit it, was like way up high. It was like an eye-level first pitch fastball where if someone's going to tag you for 2 runs on that, I'd tip your cap. Like that's just a nice hit out of the zone. And then a swinging bunt moved a couple of guys into scoring position. Obviously, these things happen for all pitchers, but it's not to say he put his best stuff over the middle of the plate and it got clobbered. Soft contact beat him up. Stuff looked good. But overall takeaway, Braxton Ashcraft was on the mound, and that's a win for Braxton Ashcraft and the Pirates.
Right, and it'll be a win for the Pirates tomorrow when they see Paul Skeens out there in the mound, because this guy didn't get to pitch in his simulated game, or he pitched in the simulated game. Monday it was rained out against the Phillies, so I will not be there, but you will be, Noah. What are you looking forward to from seeing from Skeens?
I want to see if he gets 2 or 3 ups. Mitch Keller pitched 3 complete innings today. I want to know if that's going to be the same case for Skeens. I would probably guess not. They'd like to see him go up against live competition at least once, but a lot of talent, obviously. He makes our job easy as far as deciding things to write about on the days that he pitches. So a lot to cover, a lot to look forward to, Andrew.
Yeah, certainly should be a good one, and I know Noah will have us all brought up to speed with all things related here on our YouTube channel. So thanks as always for watching. Noah, any final comments?
Just hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Follow our work at post-gazette.com, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.